Hey guys, Mrs. Hedrick here. This is Math 7 for April 23rd. We are in lesson 19, and today we'll be working in your practice and problem solving book. I'm on page 198 and 199. For the lesson today, pencil and how about a calculator? So go grab something to use for a calculator. Okay. Are you ready? All right, so we're going to be solving some more problems related to area. Okay, we got this. All right, the first thing says, the first directions here says, read the problem below, then use what you've learned about calculating area to solve the problem. Okay, let's see what's going on. Let's see, the figure below shows the plan for a new town park. The park manager is going to plant grass in the shaded area at a total cost of, let's mark this. The grass is going to cost $2.50 per square foot. Okay, hang on, okay. The four triangles removed from the corners are all the same size. How much will this project cost? So everywhere, they should have shaded it in green. Everywhere that you see blue is going to be the park, the grass, okay? So I need to cover all this with grass, and that grass is going to cost me $2.50 per square foot. Okay, so if you take a look, I've gotten all kinds of measurements here. This is the whole side over here. This is 90. The whole, so that would be what, like the height. The whole base is 120 feet. Now they got the shorter measurements. From here to here is 70 feet, and from here to here is 80 feet. And then they told me that these four triangles are exactly the same size. Okay. So let's cut this up into pieces, right? All right, look at the picture. Now, they made a lot of pieces. Okay, goodness gracious. All right, so they cut the big giant rectangle out of the middle, and then they cut off these are right triangles. So there are four right triangles that are all the same size, labeled A. A, 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 A. There is one large rectangle labeled B, and there are two smaller rectangles that are the same size, labeled C, here and here. Now, they said that you can find the area of each part using the formulas for areas of triangles and rectangles. All right, hopefully you already highlighted that somewhere. Just to review, the area of a rectangle is base times height, and the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Or your book shows it like here, 1/2 times. If you multiply something by a half, it's the same as dividing by 2. Okay, that's the way I like to write it. But it is the same as, those mean the same thing. Okay. Now, I know I can see the answers, and I know you can see the answers, but let's go up here. I'm going to take them off the screen and see if we can figure out how they came up with all of those numbers, okay? All right, the big rectangle in the middle is probably the easiest. This would be the base. Well, that says 120 feet, so now you have to be a detective, okay? There are a whole lot of numbers, and some of these numbers I'll use, and some of them I won't use. Some of them I use to find other numbers, okay? So don't be that kid. Don't be the kid who goes, oh yeah, there's an 80 and a 70 and a 90 and a 120, multiply them all, add them all up. No, 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 no. We have to slow down and take our time to make sure we have all of our numbers. When we find a number, we should write it in the picture because we might need it for something else, okay? So this is not a plug in a number and go thing. You have to slow down. So if I look at the green rectangle, here's the base. Well, this is 120. That's not going to do me any good because I don't need this and I don't need this. But look up here. This is 80. So this has a base of 80. And I need the height. I need the height all the way up from the bottom to the top. Is it 70? Nope, look at that. Go to the other side. It's 90, right? From the bottom to the top is 90. So for this rectangle, I'm going to do 80 times 90. And they already did it. And I know, go down to the bottom. Now you can look at the answers. 80 times 90, 8 times 9, 72 with 2 zeros. So this one we just talked about. Okay, let's do the little rectangles. All right, C. I have 2 of them. I just need to find one, and it's the same. Okay. I need this base. And no matter where I look, there is no number for that. It's just not there. What I do know is that all the way across this shape is 120. And I know that this much is 80. Well, I don't want this. So I could grab my calculator and I would type in 120 and I would subtract that 80. I don't want that 80. I don't need that 80. That would leave me with 40 left behind, right? 120 minus 80 is 40. So does that mean this is 40? Well, no, because I have two identical pieces. So I'm going to split 40 in half and make this a 20. Does that make sense? These are 20s. So 80, 90, 100, 120. So if I add all of these up, it equals 120. So that's good. So the base of this is 120. Now this part's easy because this is a number I can use. 70. 70. I know that says 90 over here, but that's the whole thing. I just need that little piece. All right, so for C, I'm going to do base 20 times height 70. Same thing over here. Base 20, I should pick a time sign. That looks like a decimal point. Okay, 20 times 70. All right, let's go down and look. Do they have it? There it is. Or they wrote it the other way. 70 times 20. It's commutative, right? So order doesn't matter. 2 times 7 is 14 with 2 zeros. Now, there are 2 of those, right? So I would need 2 of those. 1 of these, 2 of those. All right. Now for those little bitty rectangle, or triangles. So I need a base and a height. Now, since these are right triangles, it doesn't matter if you call this the base or this the base. It doesn't matter because, I could turn the paper. I could set it on the short end. I could set it on the long side. And because you're multiplying, order doesn't matter. All right, look, I have one of these numbers right here. This piece is 20. I had to figure out what this little tiny short guy is. Obviously, that's not on here anywhere, so let's use what we know. This distance all the way across is 90. This shorter distance is 70. I don't want this. So take 90 and subtract 70. What do you get? 20. Now, this isn't 20 and 20 because that would be too much. 20 needs to be split evenly because these are the same size. So what's 20 divided by 2? 10. So this little piece is 10. This little piece is 10, 10, 10. All right, so now let's look at this one. Let's say base is 10, height is 20. So this is going to be 10 times 20 divided by 2. And if I come down here, or half of 10 times 20 divided by 2. 10 times 20 would be 200 divided by 2. That's 100. Okay. And I have 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's take a peek at the next page. Turn your page. Okay. Look at the picture. How can you find the base and height of the triangles? Okay, we already talked about that, so I don't think we need to fill that in. How can you find out the length and width of the smaller rectangles? Yeah, we talked about that. Explain how to find the area of the shaded region. Okay, now let's go back. How do I find that area? Let's use that picture. What do I do with all of these areas? I have this, I have 2 of these, and I have 4 of those. What do I do? I add it all together. You got it. So, explain how to find the area of the shaded region. So we're going to add all of the areas together. Okay, and they want us to show our work. Okay, so, oh my gosh, we have a lot of numbers to add together. Okay, can I shorten them up? So we have 4 of those, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's 4 times 100? 400. So we're going to do 400 plus, let's do the 2 rectangles. What were they? Go down here and look. 1,400. I have 2 check marks. I need 2 of those. So 1,400 plus 1,400. Well, you know what? Let's just write them. I can write this out. 1,400 plus 1,400. Plus, there's one more piece left. The big one in the middle. B. 80 times 90, 7,200. All right, so now I am going to use my calculator. So I'm going to get my calculator and turn it on. I'm going to clear it off here. So I'm going to do 400 plus 1,400 plus 1,400 plus 7,200. What did you get? I got 10,000 400. I need some units on this, so go back and turn the page back and look. Feet. It's area, two-dimensional object, so feet squared. Okay, that's a lot of square feet, man. Jeez, 10,400. All right, so that park covers 10,400 square feet. Now, pricey, I have to pay $250 per square foot. So 250, 250, 250, 250, 250, 250, 250, 250, 250, 10,400 times. That's expensive. Okay, what's a faster way to do that? I'm not going to add 250, 10,400 times. So I'm going to multiply. So 10,400 times 250. Oh, let me do that off the top of my head. Not. Okay. 10,400 times 2.5. What do we get? I'm glad I'm not paying for this. I'm going to put it down here. It's going to cost this city, the park manager, it's going to cost them $26,000 to plant grass at that park. That's probably not wrong. I mean, stuff is expensive. So I'm just glad I don't have to pay for that. Okay. Now, all right. So when we looked at this problem, I have to admit, when I first looked at this, my first thought wasn't cut this into 4, 5, 6, 7 shapes. Wasn't my idea. Okay, my idea was, this is a lovely rectangle. Don't you see it? It's beautiful. Rectangle base times height. Super easy. And I don't need these. So couldn't I just find the area of this rectangle and then cut those off? Aha. Well, that's the next method. So this says that you can also find the area by subtracting. Think about the shaded area as the area of the outer rectangle minus the area of the 4 triangles at the corners. That's what I would have done. But I think they wanted us to see both. So you can find the area of these composed figures by either adding them all together, like break them into pieces and add them up, or take the big picture and subtract the parts that you don't need. Okay, so explain how you could find the area of the shaded region by subtracting. So the first thing we would do is find the area of the rectangle. I can't spell today. And then we would subtract the small triangles. Okay, now let's try it really quick. But they didn't ask us to. Did they ask us to do it? No, but let's do it. Okay, so go back a page, flip it back. I'm not going to look at any of this down here. I'm just going to look at this. Okay, base. So this is a rectangle. So area is base times height. So area is 120 feet times, I need the whole height, times 90. So I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to do 120 times 90, and I get, what did I get? 10,800 square feet. This is the entire rectangle. Now, I'm going to cheat and use what I know. We already did the little triangles, right? It was 10 times 20 divided by 2. It was 200 divided by 2. Each rectangle is 100. How many rectangle, or gosh darn it, guys, triangles. Now, this is tricky. These are the same size, right? This triangle would be the same size as that, the missing part. So each one of these little corners is 100. 100 square feet. 100 square feet. 100 square feet. 100 square feet. So I'm going to take my 1,800 and I'm going to subtract 100, 200, 300, 400. I'm going to subtract 400. Ta-da! So it works both ways. I don't know about you, that was faster. So just saying. Okay, now it's our turn. All right, go ahead and pause me and do this problem. They want us to find the area of this rectangle in 2 ways. So they want us to cut it apart and add it together, or they want us to find the area of the rectangle and subtract the corners, okay? So pause it if you want. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to finish this out. Okay, the first thing I see right now, if I cut this in half, I see 2 trapezoids. Now, They didn't give us the area for trapezoids. I'm going to do it now. So take your pencil and write this down. So the area of a trapezoid, you know, this is the trapezoid, right? It looks like a triangle with the top cut, like if I went, this is the top of the triangle and they cut it off. Okay. The area of the trapezoid, this is tricky, but we got this, okay? Let me scoot all my stuff up. I'm running out of room. Okay, can you see it? Okay. The area of the trapezoid, I'm going to take base 1 and add it to base 2. I'm going to multiply it by the height, and then I'm going to divide it all by 2. Okay? Now, I could cut this into triangles, but did you notice how they don't fall right on lines? These are going to be like decimals or fractions. This might be faster. Okay, let's take a piece. And the reason we divide by 2 is because it has that triangle shape. Okay, all right. Let's do this. So would you agree that these are probably the same size? I think so. All right, let's give it a shot. Okay, let's use our formula. So the area of this and the area of that. Okay, base 1 and base 2. If you look at your rectangle, this is a bottom and this is a bottom, right? This is the base for this one, but this is the base for that one. And it doesn't really matter. You know what I did, guys? I'm supposed to put these in parentheses. My bad. Okay, I need to add these two together before I multiply them by the height. Okay, so I'm going to come over here in my white space, and I'm going to find, what's the base? Let's do this one. What's the base? It's up here, 5. So the area is 5, this base plus this base. What's that base? 12. Put them in parentheses. Order of operations. I'm going to do that first. How tall is this trapezoid? Now, I know that this is 8. Be careful. The whole thing is 8. I only need half. What's nice is this is on grid paper and I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to multiply it by 4, and then I'm going to divide all this by 2. Okay, what's 5 plus 12? 17 times 4 divided by 2. Okay, I'm going to use my calculator. 17 times 4 is 68 divided by 2. I can do that in my head. 34. So this is, and it's centimeters. So this is 34 centimeters squared. Well, the base on this is 12 and the base up here is 5. So this is going to be the same. Okay, so this was the first method, add them together, right? Find the pieces and add them together. So 34 plus 34, what do we get? 68. 68 centimeters squared. All right, that's one way. Now, let's find the area of this rectangle and subtract the four triangles. Okay, so I'm going to kind of draw a line here. I know I'm running out of space. Let's look at the bottom of the rectangle. Now, this says that it's 5, and this says that it's 8. And if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, every line, every little segment is 1. And if you look, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half plus half, 5. Okay, I'm just going to count straight across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this base is 12. So the area of this rectangle is base 12 times height 8. Grab my handy dandy calculator, 12 times 8, 96. So this whole rectangle has an area of 96 centimeters squared. I do not want these triangles. Now, if you look, are they all the same size? Yep. So I only have to find the area of one of those, and I'm going to subtract it 4 times. All right, let's use this guy down here. I think he might be the easiest one to talk about. All right, how tall is it? I can do, well, all of this is 8. What's half of 8? It should be 4. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Now, I could count these too. I've written all over them. Let me erase. Look, it's 1, 2, 3 and a half. Or I could take 12, subtract 5, right? I don't need that. 12 minus 5 is 7, and then split it in half. Half of 7, 3.5. All right, so now my little triangle, my area of my triangle is 3.5, can you see it? Yep, times 4 divided by 2. 3.5 base times 4 height is 14 divided by 2. So my little triangle is 7 centimeters, squared. 7 centimeters squared. 7 centimeters squared. 7 centimeters squared. But I don't want them, so I'm going to subtract them. So I can take my calculator. Can you see it if I put it like, yeah, you can. I'm going to take my 96, and I'm going to minus 7 once, minus 7 twice, minus 7 3 times, minus 7 4 times. That equals, so if I do 96 minus 7, minus 7, minus 7, minus 7, that equals, you got it. Okay, so there were 2 ways to find that answer. Cut it into pieces and add them together, or find the shape of the whole rectangle and use subtraction. Subtract, 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 subtract. Both of them were 68. All right, my friends. Okay, I want you to do some practice in the homework book, your practice and problem solving book. So here, we're running out of space. I'm going to slide this down. We're busy. For homework, I want you to work on practice and problem solving. Page, what do I have? This was 198, 199. Okay, you're going to do practice and problem solving, 223, 224. Okay, and the answers are already posted. So do it first, then check your answers, or if you absolutely get stuck, you can go peek at the answers. But don't copy the answers. That's a waste of everybody's time. Okay, bye guys. See you later. See you tomorrow.